Kratos is no Spartan. Ash curls around his blades as Atreus strings his bow. Odin, threadbare and watchful, traces the edge where worlds bleed. No, before Ares' blade Spartan struck, curls around his blades as Gaia's, was not war, sutured across time. Her blood, worlds the bleed bedrock of all things, hums in the void between realms. What did she death bargain with the wasn't and dark to end by a cosmos breath? What did she death bargain with the wasn't and dark to end by a cosmos breath but a spark? Her final act a blade twisted in Kratos' back was no betrayal, it was a warning. The Earth Mother's bones now crackle with primordial code, a cipher to stall the void's hunger. She bled not for vengeance but for time, for breath between Ragnarok's jaws. You see it now, don't you? The conspiracy in her whispers, the calculus behind her collapse. Kratos struck her down but Gaia had already unmade herself. A god's suicide as a shield, a mother's gambit to bury apocalyptic gears. What did she become when her silence outlasted the Titans? The answer lies in the soil under your feet, and the storm yet to break. Sparta's soil drank God's screams, Kronos choked on his children's thunder. Faye's veins hummed with frost older than time. The Titanomachy was nowhere, it was a womb's convulsion. Gaia, her body a battlefield, bore cosmos and regret. Did she know victory's price was her own silence, her roots split by Olympus hammers, her breath stolen by star-iron chains? Yet in that collapse a seed took hold of fracture in fate's brittle shell. Faye, born of that fracture, carried primordial snow's scent. Her blood, thin as shadow, whispered of unwritten endings. What did she see in the void between heartbeats? A future where Kronos' hunger met Ragnarok's flame. Gaia's betrayal was a mother's last gasp, a dam against the flood. She did not plan her imprisonment. She became its anchor, a slow burn to delay the inevitable. Every stone surrendered, every root severed, a counterweight to the storm. Faye's foresight, was it inheritance or curse? The answer lies in the soil that drank god blood. And in the quiet space between what was and what will be, Gaia waits, not as prisoner, as pause, as breath held too long. Kratos bled his pact into Ares' shadow, blood for blood, fury for fury. Ares' whispers carved his blade into a hymn of slaughter. Odin gnawed his eye raw at Mimir's well, not for wisdom, for asterisk more asterisk, to taste fate's marrow. Gaia saw the fever in their ascents, felt Ragnarok's gears grinding. She did not bargain, did not plan. When Titans fell, she wove chains as Gambit, let her children's hatred pin her deep, each curse a hammer, each god a nail. The earth scream sealed the void between ages, a delay, not an end, her roots choked time's throat, her silence a dam against fire, the cycle spins. Kratos' vengeance, Odin's hundredth are sparks, but Gaia's imprisonment, a smothered blaze, a mother's hand on the anvil of the world. What price a pause, the cosmos breathes, waits. Titan's rage, All-Father's hunger, ghost of Sparta's shadow, the dance closer. Ragnarok's shadow stretches, but in bedrock Gaia's pulse thrums, not defeated, asterisk deferred asterisk. The fire comes, it always does. But the grandmother of gods turned her tomb into a counter. One stone against avalanche, one breath held too long, until the next hammer falls. The throne scrapes his ribs, Kratos' fingers dig into cold stone, breath fogging the air, the dead god's citadel trembles. A crack splits the floor beneath him, spilling light that bleeds upward, not down. Atreus stands in the realm between, bowstring taut, fate's threads snapping like dry twigs in his grip. The sky fractures. Gaia's voice curls in Kratos' ear, a whisper thinner than dying wind. Asterisk, the earth is not a prison. It is a shield. Asterisk, he grips the throne harder. Memory of her betrayal surges. Her face in God of War 3 storm, Titan's blade arcing toward his throat, her laughter as the ground swallowed her. Then the Greek citadels, the pact to kill Titans, a war painted as justice, but her motives gnawed at edges. Now her final lie unravels, the shield, the earth's bones. All this time she'd turned her tomb into a dam. Atreus releases the arrow, a thread explodes into smoke, the realm between shudders. Kratos sees it, her roots tangled beneath Olympus, how she fed him fury to kill Titans, how each god's death rippled through time. She did not plan to die. She planned to asterisk become asterisk the wound, her body the anchor, her silence the bait, the throne's edges dig into his palms. Kratos tilts his head, letting the whisper settle. Atreus' arrow strikes another thread gone. Somewhere a mountain crumbles, the shield buckles. Did she mean for him to hear this now? To realize too late her death had been a seed, not an end. The earth's tremors grow urgent. Atreus' breath hitches. His next shot will sever the last thread. Kratos' pulse roars. The choice is not his, not Atreus. The choice was Gaia's, made in the first root she twisted around his blade. The citadel screams, the shield cracks. And in the dark beneath, something older than Ragnarok stirs. The cost was not hers alone. Her blood seeped into earth, iron-tainted, as ground trembled with funeral spasms. The citadel's screams curdled to dirge, stars above dimmed as if mourning. In her death, roots bound a cosmos fracture, yet the price, a silence where gods once whispered, the weight of her body became bedrock for a colder, slower reckoning. Ragnarok breathes, but deeper now, deader. The earth cracked where her spine had been, mountains bled stone, oceans swallowed cities. From her wound, a light escaped, small, stubborn silver. Hope, Pandora's last breath, now a fragile prism in ash. Kratos felt it pulse in his palm, a relic of the mother who loved him before Zeus lies. The Aesir watched realms rot, the Vanir wept as crops turned to dust. 9 worlds teetered on a blade's edge, Norn's threads fraying into shadow. Warriors fought for gods who no longer fought for them. Children starved while Odin's wolves gnawed at time's edges. What had Gaia's sacrifice bought? A pause, a breath. A delay in fire's feast, the frost giants knew it. The primordial void beyond Yggdrasil's roots stirred, patient. Kratos would carry the answer until his hands crumbled to dust. Until the hammer fell, until the last star drowned. The world had not been saved, it had been given a heartbeat, a countdown, and in that heartbeat hope burned. The Titanomachy's ash still drifts where Gaia's veins once pulsed. Her final breath, stolen by Ares' blade, did not end with silence. It became the stone's whisper, the root's slow crawl, the tremor beneath every step Kratos takes. A mother's last act, to fracture her own body into chains, binding gods to a prison they would outgrow. She did not choose this, the old gods did not plan. They reacted as Kratos learned to react, his Spartan rage a blade through Olympus, through Asgard, through the horror of a father who becomes myth. The cape endures. Tattered, blood-drained, yet it flutters where he walks. It is not a relic but a language, every thread a scream, every tear a memory of the boy who clutched it as shield. Kratos the ghost wore it through Sparta's ash. KR1 Otto's the wanderer drags it through snow now, its weight a counterbalance to Atreus' ascent. The boy who was Mimir's son, who was Loki's shadow, learns his name through fire. His laughter once echoed with innocence, now it carries storms static. A father's hope, it seems, is a torch passed into thunder. Gaia's betrayal was a backdraft. She did not foresee the void gnawing at her chains, nor the day her children would tear free, Ragnarok's hunger undimmed. Yet her failure is not hollow. Her sacrifice unplanned unbidden became the axis. The realms pivot on her remains. Kratos' rage, once a weapon, now knits the cape's fraying edges. Atreus' prophecy, once a burden, now bends winds to his will. What does a mother do when her world is a clockwork doomed to unwind? She becomes the gear. The crack in foundation, the heartbeat in countdown, the earth remembers. Every root splitting stone, every winter following summer, it is Gaia's pulse, uneven but persistent. The wanderer feels it in his steps, the god of mischief in his blood. And the cape, ever the cape, whispers a truth neither can yet name. That rage and hope are the same fire, burning through lifetimes. What begins as destruction may yet be a kind of building. The earth holds her breath. Gaia's bones are the bedrock, her veins the rivers, her breath the tremors no one feels. The Titanomachy's betrayal did not kill her, it rewrote her. A queen cast as foundation, her warble of defiance turned to silence. Kratos walks where she once stood. His path is her afterimage, a shadow script she could not speak. He seeks balance, but balance is a rumor in a house built on fault lines. The gods churn above, blind to the slow grind of tectonic spite. Ragnarok is not a storm, it is overdue math of their rage. Every vengeance, every throne toppled, another match struck in a dry forest. The Aesir and Vanir dance their fatal waltz, convinced they are architects, they are the script. Gaia's chains are both prison and dam, her stillness bought a century's reprieve. But dams fracture, and the gods in their hubris keep adding weight to the spillway. Kratos will not stop them, no one will. The only question is whether the flood arrives with wolves or without. The earth waits, it always does. Kratos' blade trembles, Zeus' crown cracks, a father's wrath, a son's debt. Atreus' hands clutch ash. Boldyr's smile hides a hollow heart, one learns by fire, the other by falling. Odin's eye is a scar, Tyr's truth is a sword, one devours knowledge, the other his own. Gaia's chain began with a whisper, a titan's breath trapped in stone. Not surrender but delay, her body the first sacrifice, her silence the first lie. The Titanomachy was never about power, it was a clock, a generation's wait to slow Ragnarok's gears. Tyr alone saw it, honesty a curse. He knew the price of fatherhood, to let the storm come but not yet, the others carved names in blood. He carved a warning, in every clash of gods a shadow of Gaia's hand. Her children fought above, she fought beneath, the earth does not forget, it counts, it waits. How many fathers must die before the sun learns, how many truths buried to buy a breath, the mirror shows no answers, only echoes. The grandmother of gods gambled with silence, the cost a world held in breath, the flood still comes, but the wolves, the earth waits, it always does. Gaia's final words to Kratos were not a plea, a promise, asterisk the earth will hold the void until the stars are born again, asterisk the cosmos fractures. Light drips from Pandora's jar like a wound, a child's hand, small and raw, reaches upward toward the last unbroken star. She was betrayed by the hands she nurtured, by the gods who feasted on her bones, yet in her collapse she became the dam. The earth's silence is no accident, it is a countdown, every tremor a heartbeat. Every shadow a breath held too long. Ragnarok's wolves circle, but they cannot touch what is already broken. The image lingers, hope not as flame but as thread. Fine as a whisper, unbroken, Kratos turns, the horizon bleeds. Behind him Gaia's promise hardens into stone, voice fades, the hand remains, reaching, waiting, the stars, unborn, watch. What will happen when the stars are born again? The mother of gods became her own tomb, a desperate gambit, a clockwork delay against Ragnarok's hunger. Gaia's chains were not faith, they were a fuse. The Titanomachy, not just a war but a timer. Subscribe. The next dossier reveals